Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Chuck Graham Show. You can visit us online at charlesgraham.com. That's charlesgraham.com if you want to support the show. I want to thank all the people that have supported the show. As always, thanks, because it really helps. All right, so let's get into it. So today's school shooting, Michigan. Young man, I don't know what his name is. I watched the news on it this morning, and they were talking about that they really don't know the motivation of why. And I think he's, 14? They may try him as an adult, that sort of thing. But the news media was gun, 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 gun. And if you look at how they've treated some of these posts, I mean, these shootings and how they've covered them. Like Timothy, he was a black male, and not that that matters, but he had a school shooting in Texas. How'd they cover it? Not much. And here's the thing. You have to ask yourself why. Well, the circumstances are a little bit different because I think there's something to do with bullying and self-defense and that sort of thing. Don't know the particulars, but they still should have covered it. But they didn't because it didn't fit their narrative. They didn't want a black male with a gun to be labeled as crazy. But yet they have no problem with it when they don't know the circumstances of this kid or what happened or if it was bullying or whatever. They just don't know, but they've been covering it wall to wall. Why? Because it fits their narrative. Anti-gun. That's it. The fact of the matter is they're trying to make any incident with a gun look terrible. I got news for you folks. It's not the fucking gun. It's the crazy person that's behind the gun. I mean, you can go and build a bomb if you know how with household materials and blow the damn place up if you know how. You can't fix crazy. You can't stop crazy. It just takes a little bit more effort. But sometimes crazy people are determined. And all this stuff about, AR-15s, because the way it looks. Let me tell you something. There is no such thing as an assault rifle. That is a made-up fucking term. Every weapon, axe, sword, pistol, rifle, 45-70, Marlins, 30-30s, all of that are assault rifles by definition. Because if you shoot somebody with it, it's assault. If you hack at somebody with an axe, it's assault. So that weapon becomes an assault weapon. So all this made up shit and this made up terms is just confusing to the general public. People out west and up north that generally don't carry. I carry every single day. I'm hardly ever without a firearm, no matter where I go. So the bottom line is that I've done that since I was 18 years old, probably 17. Done that all my life. Carried one all my life. And fortunately, it's served me well. But the point being is it's anti-gun narrative. They're not covering the stories because they don't really want to make, somebody that's a young black male to look. And I'm glad people are talking about it because there is a double standard in the media. If you're black and you shoot somebody, they don't cover it. If you're white and you happen to shoot somebody, they're going to cover the hell out of it. And not only that, if you're white and you shoot a black person, they're really going to cover that. But if you're black and you shoot a white person, just a white guy. And that's the exact truth. And that's just the way they're covering it. I'm sorry. However, that is... it's ridiculous. It shouldn't be this way, right? It shouldn't be this way. They should cover it correctly, period. Like the Brooks case and that I did a show on the other day about the Christmas parade. They don't cover that crap. They still don't even say his name. Darrell Brooks. Still don't say his name. And I said to my wife this morning, I said, his family ought to get together and sue the big media companies. And their argument should be that Darrell somehow or another had a misconception of what happened in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial that made him have a psychotic episode or a break or some defense like that, and sue the shit out of him. Now, Daryl gonna probably still have his ass in jail for a long time, but his family probably would be wealthy. I wish they would sue the hell out of these media companies to the point that it bankrupted them. I mean, 2013 was the year, and I forget the act that Obama passed or signed into law that allows the media companies to promote propaganda. Now, what they're saying is no, that's not what that does. It allows the government to issue propaganda against other countries. Well, look at the Patriot Act. That wasn't supposed to be against U.S. citizens either, was it? But it is, and it has been. All the way from World War II to 2013, it was illegal to promote propaganda in this country, but now it's not. And their guise is they don't do it on citizens. They don't spread propaganda to citizens. They do it to foreign countries. Yeah, horse shit. You give them power like that, and you never get it back. And so, folks, I'm sorry. There's a problem. A problem. Well, so let's do this. What about Big Pharma? I was watching yesterday, I think it was Robert Kennedy Jr. I was watching him on another show, and he made some really good points about autism and stuff, and why only 1 in 10,000 in his generation would get it. Now it's 1 in 30. I think Big Pharma is making a lot of money off citizens because there's a pill for everything. And there's two things that I think should be illegal to advertise: alcohol and pharmaceuticals. You know why? Because you can kill yourself with alcohol without any help. Trust me, I've drank enough in my life to float 2 ships. And my doctor was wanting to put me on a high blood pressure medication. Guess what happened when I stopped drinking alcohol? My blood pressure dropped significantly. Just for me, not a doctor, but it did. And I don't take the medication. And anytime I drink, it's going to spike to, good God, just extraordinary levels. Part of it's I'm overweight. But the other part was the simple thing of drinking no alcohol dropped my blood pressure almost just crazy. So I was watching a video on YouTube, and I like the guy. He's a British guy. StopDrinkingExpert.com, I think, is his show. And he's not sponsoring me or nothing, but I like him. I think he's got some really good ideas. I used to bodybuild and was in really good shape, and I never drank till I was in my 30s. So I said to myself, well, I've always considered alcohol a poison. Always. All the way up until my 30s. I don't know why I started drinking. I can't even tell you why I started drinking. But there was a time in my life I wouldn't even date anybody that drank. I just didn't like it, didn't want it around me. And so I made a conscious decision to stop. And I just don't want to do it. And according to the CDC, and I believe this, every person that abuses alcohol is not an alcoholic. An alcoholic is defined by the CDC as someone who is physically addicted to alcohol to the point that they cannot stop. That's an alcoholic. Now, there are millions of abusers out there that can stop. Every